Hello there, people, and welcome to this expertly made video. I am Beatles expert, Mr. Sir Dr. Professor Idiot Max Tan. Now, that name there, it's a very interesting name. I was named Max Tan because my parents wanted to name me after their favourite song, but sadly did not want to get into copyright with the Beatles legal team, which are very strict on copyright, quite sadly. In fact, they are so strict that Weird Al Yankovic himself got into trouble over that exact same song. Anyways, let's move on to the topic of this video. This video will aim to review the best Beatles album of all time, which is, of course, Revolver. Now, with Revolver, we must first start with the title. The name Revolver, it's a very smart name, a very intellectual name. And this, just through this name, the Beatles have already established themselves as trying something completely new in their career, where they're trying to be more smart and less love-songy. Now, let's actually analyze that name. Firstly, a revolver, that's a type of gun, right? So, one could say that the Beatles were trying to say that using this album, they would be shooting their own career down in order to make a new name for themselves. Now, of course, this is a really stupid way to look at it, and the answer is probably much simpler, in that if you look at it contextually, the album Revolver would be revolving on your turntable. So, in a way, Revolver was a literal revolver, and by thinking of it as a handgun, you immediately have thought about it the wrong way, and the Beatles had pulled a very funny joke on you, which has still remained funny after 54 years. Now, let's move on from the album title to the album cover. On the cover, you'll immediately see 4 faces of the 4 Beatles. And first, we must look at the expressions of the Beatles and their positioning. Paul and John are positioned to seem as though they are the main Beatles, which of course they were. But look at George Harrison's depiction, and you will see that George Harrison himself appears to be less playful and more contributing on this serious album than he seems to have been on previous albums, because on this album he makes his debut as an excellent songwriter. Now, let's look at Ringo. Ringo is reliable, so yeah, that's Ringo. Another thing to note is the faces between the faces, which are all depictions of the Beatles in different attire, which shows us how this album will try to express all the different aspects of the Beatles' vivid personalities. Now, moving on from the faces, let's look at the colour scheme. The colour scheme is black and white, mostly, which is quite a serious colour scheme, and serves to frame this album as a very serious album, just as the title did with its intellectualisms of Revolver. Of course, yes, it is in fact a very serious album, as we will now see.